Most people buy a DNA kit for something simple. They want to know if they're 15% Irish or if their ancestors crossed the Alps. It's a fun little stocking stuffer, a weekend hobby, but for 32-year-old Maya, it was just a casual gift from her husband. She spit into the plastic tube, sealed the biohazard bag, and mailed it off. She forgot about it for 6 weeks, until a Tuesday afternoon at her desk when an email popped up. "Your results are ready." Maya logged in, expecting a pie chart of European countries. Instead, she saw a notification in the Close Matches tab, a name she didn't recognize, Marcus Vance, and next to his name, a label assigned by an unfeeling algorithm, immediate family, father. Maya stared at her screen. Her father's name was David. David had raised her, taught her to drive, and was currently sitting in a retirement home 3 states away. Marcus Vance was a stranger. What Maya didn't know yet was that her mother had taken a secret to her grave, and a $99 piece of plastic had just dug it up. What Maya experienced is something geneticists call an NPE, a non-paternity event, or more modernly, not parent expected. Before consumer databases like Ancestry and 23andMe exploded, family secrets were safely locked behind closed doors. If a mother had an affair, or if a child was conceived via an early, undisclosed sperm donor, or if a hospital mix-up occurred, those secrets lived and died with the generation that made them. But algorithms don't keep secrets. They don't care about family loyalty, and they certainly don't care about timing. Estimates from data scientists suggest that between 2 and 5% of the population are raising children who are not biologically theirs without realizing it. In a database of millions, that means hundreds of thousands of genetic bombs are currently waiting to explode in people's email inboxes. When Maya called her dad, the man who raised her, her voice was shaking. She asked him if he knew a Marcus Vance. The heavy, confused silence on the other end of the line gave her the first half of the answer. He had no idea. The second half of the answer was much worse. Her dad was entirely innocent. The fallout of an identity bombshell moves through 3 distinct stages: shock, confrontation, and what therapists call the ghost era. For Maya, the shock lasted 48 hours. Then came the confrontation. Because her mother had passed away 5 years prior, Maya had to go looking for Marcus Vance herself. She found him online. He was an ordinary man, a retired contractor living just 40 minutes away from the town Maya grew up in. She sent a carefully worded message. "Hi, Marcus. This is strange, but I took a DNA test." 3 days later, they met at a diner. When Marcus walked through the door, Maya gasped. She wasn't looking at a stranger. She was looking at her own face. The shape of her jaw, the specific hazel tint of her eyes, traits she had spent a lifetime wondering where she got them from, because she didn't share them with David. Marcus listened to her story, his hands trembling over a cup of black coffee. And then, the pieces of a 30-year-old puzzle locked into place. He had dated Maya's mother briefly in the winter of 1993, right before she broke things off and married David. She had never told Marcus she was pregnant. She chose stability over the truth. But notice what happens to the family dynamic here in the ghost era. Marcus wanted to be a father to a grown woman he didn't know. David felt an overwhelming sense of grief, feeling like his entire memory of his deceased wife and his own identity as a father was a lie. And Maya felt like a ghost in her own life, caught between the man who gave her life and the man who gave her a childhood. The true tragedy of the DNA bombshell space isn't just the person who spits into the tube. It's the collateral damage. When a secret sibling or a non-paternity event comes to light, it fractures extended families. Aunts, uncles, and cousins suddenly have to choose sides. Do you accept the new biological relative, or do you protect the legacy of the parents who lied? In Maya's case, her revelation tore her extended family apart. Her mother's surviving sisters called Maya a liar, accusing her of using a fake corporate test to ruin their dead sister's reputation. They refused to speak to her. David's family felt betrayed. Within 6 months of clicking an email link, Maya's holiday guest lists vanished. This is exactly why this space drives such furious debate. If you look at the support groups online, which are growing by thousands of members every month, the internet is deeply divided on the ethics of these tests. On one side, people argue that we have an absolute human right to our genetic truth. On the other side, people ask, is a truth worth telling if it completely destroys a living, peaceful family? 2 years after her test, Maya's life looks entirely different. She speaks to Marcus once a week. They are building something out of nothing. Her relationship with David survived, but it required intense therapy and a hard boundary. They don't talk about the biology anymore. To David, she is still his daughter, period. The corporate tech giants promised us a fun way to discover our pasts, but they accidentally handed us a tool that strips away our armor. They proved that family isn't a fixed, historical document written in stone. It's an ongoing negotiation. The next time you see one of those little colorful boxes sitting on a shelf, ask yourself a question before you buy it. Are you ready for whatever answer it gives you? Because once you pull that thread, you can't sew the tree back together. If stories like Maya's make you look at your own family history a little bit differently, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next episode. But before you go, I want to hear your opinion on this. If you took a test and found out a secret that could destroy your family's peace, would you tell the truth, or would you take that secret to the grave to protect the people you love? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.